sumptuous day. Welcome to the Particle Accelerator Podcast, the show where we discuss the superheroes of the CW. I'm your host, Tom, and with me is my co host, John. Say hi, John.
Hey guys, how's it going? Pretty excited to get into this week's episode, so I'm not going to hold back and let's jump right into it.
All right, man, start me off. What's your first thought? What were your first thoughts of this first episode, this Monday's episode of Supergirl? This is
Um,
episode 4. Hold on, this is episode 4. I apologize for cutting you off and telling you you can go on. I am so sorry, John. But, I want to tell everybody that we're going to be talking about Supergirl episode 4. It's called Survivors. And now, take it away, John. Go ahead.
okay. Well, I was just going to say my notes are a little backwards because, of course, we watch the episodes and then we go back through and take notes.
Yeah.
So my first note that I wrote down was actually the White Martian reveal with
Oh,
McGann's
really?
first. Yeah, I was like, that's kind of brutal.
Because it happened,
Yeah.
and you wrote it down immediately, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So I mean, uh, you were telling me about how McGann was supposed to be a white Martian, and she's like a reformed white Martian and
Yep,
all
yep.
that jazz. The part that got me with it though is like I didn't like the way that she looked as a white Martian. Like I'm so used to seeing green Martians, I guess, or like Martian Manhunter, that I was like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah, I
okay.
remember. I had those feelings. I don't know how many years ago it was. It was a few years ago. The first time I saw what was it? Young Justice. Young Justice came on, and I got into Young Justice. And the first time I saw Young Justice, I had those feelings, and well, I didn't know that Megan Moores was a white Martian, and then they showed what white Martians were, and I was like, oh, that looks weird. That doesn't look anything like the other kind of Martian. Why do they look completely different? But whatever. And then when she revealed as a white Martian, I was like, okay, but yeah, I understand your feels. I totally do. But, I'm over it now. It's been quite a few years, so I was able to a- accept what white Martians look like. So, um,
I'll
you'll
say
be
it.
able to soon. I don't know. They look really cool. I feel like the live action ones. I feel like the live action ones look fucking awesome. Like, I think they look really, really good. I
I
don't know.
thought they looked like Locust from Gears of War. I really did. But it'll probably grow on me over time.
All
But
right.
I'd have to see more of it and see like more of the story about what was actually happening on Mars, which I do hope they go into depth into that later on in the season. Give it just a couple episodes of filler.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool because I haven't really ever like seen any of that interacted
Right?
out like any of the Mars like what
What happened?
happened
Like they
like you know
talk
what I
about
mean
it,
like
but
what like was it like the Holocaust on Mars or was it worse than that like what's going on like.
think World War II, but if you could read minds and Hitler was winning.
Right, I guess that'd be crazy.
uh, uh, going on to my next point, I guess the next one I wrote down would have to be Warworld with Draaga. And like that whole get just when Monel was talking about it, he just said it real quick.
Yeah,
So it's just
he just dropped War World like
like
he's
it was
like yeah,
nothing.
I was on War World, I watched this happen. Like,
Yeah,
huh,
I was like,
really?
is that something they're gonna bring in later?
Uh,
That
maybe like I hope like a small snippet flashback. Give me something on War World. That would be pretty neat. I wouldn't mind seeing a little something on War World because I think War World's a cool thing.
see,
Really, really cool thing for sure.
but
I
that's where
want I
this.
want some of it. I want more Draga too, for sure. I think he needed to be a little bit bigger, but like I want to this is a question I wanted to ask about since you bring up War World. Is this Draga okay, so is this Draga before he is appointed the ruler of War World or is this after he's appointed ruler of War World or during his rule of War World? Because I was thinking he was a little small, so I was kind of hoping that this was like, pre him being the like leader of War World. You know what I mean? Like, and then like later on, down the line, like maybe they'll be like the next episode they bring Draaga in, like he's like got War World or something like that, or the leaders of War World or the people who run War World are like you're the leader or whatever.
Right. I just feel like with all these little things they're bringing, like with the White Martian reveal and War World, and like I don't really have a feeling for where the season is going yet, though. Like I don't know who their main antagonist is gonna be. Like they've had, uh, oh, I'm drawing a blank here.
Roulette.
Roulette. They had. I'm talking
Roulette
about like
was
the
oh, you're talking about last episode.
no, the two guys that they had in like episode two. I can't remember his name. Uh,
I'm not thinking what you're thinking, man. What do you got for me?
I have it written down or written down here somewhere, if I can find it. But it's just like with all these different aspects that they're bringing into it, are they like where's the season going? You know,
I don't know. It could go anywhere. Could
right?
they be bringing in? I don't know.
It's and I feel like that a lot of the DC shows just starting out now have been like that. Like they've all just not really had connections. Like they've had little
Well,
connections here and there to
you
the
got
other shows, but
some of them. Some of them have like a good idea. I think Supergirl. I don't know. I haven't seen an idea of where it's going yet. Like you got the president that's an alien. You got um but we're only on episode 4. So
yeah.
we're literally 4 episodes into a 23 episode series, a 20 episode series, you know? So
Yes, we
you
can't
can't
even
really
finish the
tell
story.
yet, you know what I mean? The first half of fucking Supergirl last season was boring as all goddamn hell, you know what I mean? So, like, we're just we just gotta wait with Supergirl. As long at least we're getting Draaga, we're getting War World name drops. We're uh we got a president that's an alien. Roulette, which was the kind of weird because I'm pretty sure she's only been in like a handful of like cameos in comics, which is weird. But
I have a thing for that actually.
what?
I think I might know why they might have brought in roulette.
Why?
So I was talking to Zach about it actually the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and with like them bringing in roulette, she was a part of the Legion of Doom. So I'm wondering if they're gonna do like a Legion of Doom episode or like
Was
super
she
crossover.
was she the one who had a thing with like Lex Luthor and then Gorilla Grodd too?
I think
Or is
so.
that somebody else? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see later.
But yeah,
Um,
like it brought in really it would tie in all the shows well if they were able to do that because you got Captain Cold. Well, not anymore, but you had Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang, Gorilla Grodd, Lex Luthor. I've written down every episode of the Legion of Doom, and we've seen four of them that I know of, and it looks like five of them might be on Gotham. I haven't watched too much Gotham, so I don't know. There's Clayface, Poison Ivy, Solomon Grundy, Scarecrow, and Riddler.
I've seen quite a few of those guys in Gotham. Yeah.
So I mean, and that might confirm some of like the theories with the Supergirl being Gotham's Earth.
Nah, Fox and WB ain't gonna work together.
Oh, in my dreams.
Um, okay, so I wanted to point out like that um what's her name? Megan, she is not going to take the bond you know with
Jean Jones.
John until he finds out she is a white Martian. Gonna point
Oh,
that out 1%.
she's not. She is.
Also, I want to point out that Megan is badass as hell, and she fights way better than like a lot of people.
First
Like,
rule of alien fight kill.
I would never, ever, ever want to go up against Megan ever. End of story.
I mean, she's in an alien fight club. I mean,
Yeah,
John might work for the DEO, but like she fights for a living.
yeah, true.
Like,
Also, since they brought in Magan and they're bringing in all these other characters, what are your thoughts? Maybe a Superboy? You think they might bring in Superboy?
I hope they do because they've already brought in Superman. So I mean, he's there. Lena Luth is there. So they have like the smarts with like Lex Luthor, Lena Luthor, all those
Mm-hmm.
elements are present to clone him. But I'm just hoping that they don't do the whole cop out with like Mon-El becoming Superboy.
Yeah, I would be very mad because he was wearing that, I mean, granted, a black t-shirt and blue jeans is a very common thing to wear, but he's missing is a red S and he's, got the Superboy outfit and Mon-El is Superboy and I'm gonna be a little angry because Mon-El is not Superboy.
He's a Daxamite, a dirty
Yeah,
partying teenager of the universe.
I guess. I don't know, man. He in traditionally in the comic books, Mono wears a uniform kind of like Superman's, only with the reverse colors. He's got the more predominantly red
Yeah.
instead of blue,
I don't
and he doesn't have the super logo either.
honestly. I want to say I hope that they'd bring in a different Superboy, but I also think there's like a 50% chance right now that Mon-El will be Superboy.
Yeah, I
Like
want them to
it's
bring Connor Kent in for real. I want Connor Kent. But the what's his name? The dude that was watching over Superboy. What weak will does he have to be just like, oh yeah, let's, couple of
right.
friends,
Let's go take
go
some shots.
out, let's
Well,
go do some tests.
all that showed me, all that told me about him was he's got a very big ego. Like he's very conceited.
Yeah,
Because all he had to be is like, oh yeah, I'll let you make it. I hear you're good. You can make my suit. And he's
yeah,
like, yeah, let's go out and get hammered right now.
yeah.
Didn't even have to buy me dinner.
Oh man.
But yeah, he ended up actually in that bar. He broke that dude's arm. I had to watch it like 3 times before I caught it. But when he was doing that arm wrestle, he just snapped his arm.
Yeah, and
I was
and
like,
and when the dude punched him in the face, he probably shattered the dude's hand too. And that's why they were like, yeah, so two people were attacked in a bar. It's like, really? Attacked, huh?
I love this.
They were quite attacked. That was definitely, they were definitely attacked pretty hard there.
Right?
Arm wrestling and getting punched in the face and such. And
Oh,
oh my gosh, when the Martian Manhunter finds out that Magan is doing those fight clubs and he just bursts into her house like, can you
right.
do that?
He just walks through
Just
the door like,
no,
oh
he
yeah,
didn't even walk in the door. He
rock.
phased through the door.
Yeah, he
He
just.
phased through the door and was like aggro, like it was his daughter or something. Like that's number one, no family relation. All right. Number two, you can't just walk into people's houses like that. Like what the fuck, dude? You know?
What were you raised on a barn? Like
Right? Like were
barn.
you raised on Mars or something? Jesus.
What kind of sick planet do you come from? You can't walk
Yeah.
into somebody's house. But yeah, I was kind of upset with McGann actually this episode though, tricking John like that. It doesn't make him
Was it a
sus.
trick?
She actually tricked. Well, she
Was it a
it wasn't
trick
a
or did
trick.
he just show up at the wrong time?
No, she said don't show up again, and
Yeah,
he
don't show
showed
up
up
again.
because
He
she knew
showed
he.
up, and
She knew he
they
would.
just so happened to be there to shoot him in the back and take him. She was like, well, I work for these people. They kind of watch over me. Fucking, what do you do?
But she knew that. She knew it was gonna happen though,
Well,
and
yeah,
then she
that's
was
why
not
she
gonna
told him.
do it.
That's why he said don't show up again. And he was ignorant, showed up. It's his own damn fault.
He's being damn ignorant.
Big ignorant, yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, uh, I think that's actually all I have for Supergirl notes though.
Really?
This
Uh,
episode I didn't have too much for.
Oh my gosh, I can go on.
Let's do it.
Supergirl and Roulette. What was up with that? What did she mean by the safe bet?
I think that was just kind of like
She
word
can
talk
like she's
foreplay.
a safe bet. What does that mean?
That Supergirl will always. Oh, what was it? They did the same. Somebody said like the same type of shit to her in the first season. Like Supergirl will always try and save somebody if she can, and that's why. Or no, maybe I'm thinking of the Flash. I'm thinking of the Flash. But I'm thinking it's that same type of scenario. Like they're gonna set her up to where she has to choose between like saving this many people or letting this person go, and she's not gonna
Oh,
be able
okay.
to do both. So like that's just they always know that's
You're
gonna
a safe
happen.
bet. Got you. All
Yeah.
right. What about did you catch that the fact that Lena Luthor totally knows Kara is Supergirl?
Oh yeah, I called that
Yeah, because
when
she
she
was
was.
like, "I know you'll be there for me when the time comes."
Yep.
So,
Safe bet.
yeah, no, that was Lena Luthor
Yeah.
watching over or knowing Kara was this,
But yeah,
Lena
it's
Luthor knows, and I don't know if it was from the little thumb thingy that she had before in like the previous episode,
right.
but yeah.
She found out somehow. I knew
And
she was
well,
gonna
I
find out.
mean, for sure, Kara's allowed in now without any interruption. She can go straight to Lena now, so they're like basically homies. So hopefully Lena's actually like legit and like
Not a Wells.
not a Luther,
Not a Luther.
right?
Well, she's technically. But no,
Dude,
I did
okay, so
actually.
what? Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I did actually Google some stuff about Roulette Veronica Sinclair,
Yeah.
um, because it wasn't because like her name stood out to me. I thought she was just gonna be like that episode's villain. It was actually because of the tattoo that she has.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty sick.
Yep.
Like,
I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was like a snake wrapped around her whole body and stuff. Ah,
yeah,
mm, sexy. Mm-mm-mm.
most of the CW girls are. Just
Right?
say.
Speaking of roulette, when they were okay, so after everything was over and roulette's friend, like she was bailed out. Who the heck do you think her friend on the high up is?
I'm thinking it
It's
was
the
Lena
president.
Luthor.
What?
I'm thinking it was Lena Luthor.
Really?
Paid it
No.
off.
Lena Luthor's
I
got to be
think it
cool. It's
is.
the president. The president's an evil alien pretending to be good.
What if the president's like an ambassador from Warworld and they're trying to get Warworld started on Earth? Buddy, I just figured
Mm.
out this season. Crack.
Oh, drop the
No.
mic.
Oh, I totally messed up here. I wrote my trailer notes for DC Legends on my Supergirl one and my Supergirl on my DC Legends. So
Wow,
gotta
fail.
switch. Gotta switch cards.
Did you catch the okay, I want to point out Megan and how amazing she was in that last fight though. 'Cause like right away it was just uppercut and John like turned into the she uppercut cutted John into the
Oh,
green into Martian,
it
right?
was brutal because he's like, "That's my privilege to show people what I look like, and you
It,
won't take that away from me." And
it
2 seconds later, she's
she
punching it out of you.
uppercutted him into the right, and then they were teleport fighting, like teleport fighting. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I didn't understand why. Like, if he can teleport and like become invisible and shit, why wouldn't he just like teleport the fuck out of there?
I don't know. They were teleport fighting though. She teleported to him and punched him, and teleported with him and punched him some more. It was awesome. I
They
was,
got
I
some.
was like, I was that was like the best part about the whole thing. And then like Draaga, how he like lost so easily. I was like, there's no way. This is Draaga that's leading Warworld right now. I was just like, there's just.
That's
I feel like this is like, you know, young Draaga, and he's not that good at fighting yet.
he'll get there.
He'll get there.
Uh,
Did you catch Miss Danvers? The Kara's sister, how she totally like asked the one detective out and got shot down.
yeah.
She's like, sorry, I'm gonna be going out with my girlfriend here. Hey, babe. And then she like literally shows right up, and like the face that she makes is just like, ooh.
I know. I was hoping though. I'd like to see some of that. That'd be. I don't know. Personally find Supergirl's sister more attractive than Supergirl. I'm
You got
wondering.
anything else for it? Oh, you don't have anything else for it.
No, I'll say
Just me.
I did think of one more question just now though. Do you think
What?
that the detective will be an alien though, or end up being an alien?
No, she's human.
Was
She's
she?
human, but she's into aliens. Totally. She's totally into aliens, though.
Got the freaky 12 leashes for my dog thing.
Oh man, I gave this one. I when oh, you want to explain the rating system? Explain the rating
Oh,
system.
I guess if it's about that time.
It's about that time to explain your rating system you created for our podcast.
So our rating system works like this: you get your protons, electrons, and neutrons of an atom, because this is the particle accelerator. And of course, neutrons are going to be neutral. You're in the middle of an episode, not really good or bad that week. Protons are going to be positive episodes for the week, and electrons are going to be the worst of the worst. That's about it.
All right.
So
What'd you give it?
this Supergirl for this week, episode 4, I believe,
Yeah, episode 4, Survivors.
is getting a neutron from me. I was in the middle for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I really liked the White Martian reveal and introduced War World. Other than that, though, just kind of felt like a lot of filler. So I was like,
Yeah. Not
nothing too
really
big.
going anywhere yet. I gave it a neutron real I was like, oh, it was getting close to an electron. I was getting I was getting super close to an electron.
Oh, if they didn't have the White Martian reveal in that, I would
Yep.
done.
The War World name drop, the Draaga cameo, and the White Martian reveal all kept this from being an Electron. For sure.
Most definitely. All right.
All right,
Well,
man. Well, we're gonna move on, going on here quickly to The Flash, episode 5, Monster.
uh,
What do you got for me? What's your first thoughts on this one?
the first time I watched through this episode, or like I don't want to say like second commercial break in, I was like, oh great, this is gonna be one of those filler episodes where they just have some generic villain, some puns like maybe 3 4 times throughout the episode that it's done. And then I got to like the fourth commercial break and I was like, oh no, wait, this is actually some pretty good shit. Um, but my first note would have to be Kate is Bay.
Yeah.
The full note itself is Kate is Bay with her white iris looking ass.
Ooh. All
Because
right.
I don't know what it is, just her eyes when she like starts to go crazy, killer frost. She's Bay.
So when I was watching this during my time, I may have been a little irritated, and at the beginning there was two recaps.
Yeah, I
Did you
know. See,
notice that?
that's what I was saying. Like, this is gonna be one of those filler. Nothing's really
I was
happening.
so mad. I was like, do we really need all? I was like, okay, cool. That's a great explanation. Recap of everything. And then got into it. I was like, recap some more. Great. Cool. Do I really need this? And then it got to the point where Barry is living with Cisco, and I was like, Barry wakes up early in the morning and makes Cisco breakfast, and I'm like, is Barry cheating on Iris with Cisco? Uh, really? And I'm like, is this a bromance gonna happen? And then I thought of a name for the bromance, and Bearsco maybe. Is this
Bearsco,
gonna be a bear? Is this gonna be a
Briscoe.
Bearsco?
Um, I did like the. I was smiling from the start of the episode just from Cisco. Just sometimes a man likes to butter his own bread.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Like, oh, it's gonna be one of those episodes.
Oh yeah. See, and then like after the recap aggro, that kind of brought me back up. I was like, okay, this could be a little interesting bromance between Barry. All right, cool. I can go with Barry liking Cisco, whatever. Why not? So I was like, yeah, all right. This totally brings it back from the stupid recap thing that was happening. And then it got to that Killer Frost point, and I was like, ooh, look at Caitlyn getting all angry. But did you see that temper? Or do you think she's gonna be
Oh,
bad or good? You think
I
she's
think
gonna be
she'll
bad
just
or
have
good?
spurts. But the thing that like
What do you
stuck
mean
out to me,
spurts?
well, like she'll like if she gets too mad at something or like she gets too emotional about something, Killer Frost might come out. But like a Hulk almost.
Oh, that would be
Like,
an interesting.
but something interesting that I did want to point out with Killer Frost is that she didn't get her powers from alchemy. these just manifested from the particle accelerator. So like it was,
Maybe.
it's a, well, it can't even be a maybe though, because she has the powers and alchemy hasn't contacted her. And then when she was explaining it to her mom, she explained that it happened from the particle accelerator explosion.
She thinks it might have happened from the particle accelerator explosion, but what if she got the powers from Flashpoint?
See, but that's the thing. I don't think she did. I
I
think
think
it
she
was
did.
just from the particle accelerator. Because then I think it would put a lot more tension on the team to have to adjust to it. Because that much might have been a permanent thing that was going to happen anyway.
Well, this is where we're gonna find out who's right and who's wrong later on, huh?
Yep.
Because I, sir, think that she totally, you know,
Got him from alchemy.
yep, she got him from alchemy, or she got him from Flashpoint at least. Because everybody who had powers in Flashpoint had, powers now.
But they're only getting him back from alchemy though.
Yeah, exactly. So she got him from alchemy.
But you see, like the pain, or no, that's in the preview. We'll talk about that later.
All right, all right, all
But
right.
okay, my second point is Julian. I I know I said in
What do
our
you got
first
about
episode,
him?
I think it was, I think he's alchemy. It is no longer going to be Wells after.
Julian, what's his last name?
Uh-oh.
Julian something. Alchemy has a name. Actually a theory going around on the internet. I looked it up, and alchemy has a name that like Julian's last name is like the same as the guy who plays alchemy's first name or something like that. So that's like a theory that is Julian is alchemy, which I can see, but I don't know if I want that because I started to like actually having Julian's like relationship with Barry this time. Like I thought it was cool. Like, I thought they'd be pretty sweet mates. I've had that they're gonna be mates. That, you know what I mean? At the end when they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy that we're together. We're homies. We're gonna go have a drink because I
Now,
just opened up to you."
I think that he is going to be Dr. Alchemy because he's
Ah,
like Draco Malfoy. He's
yeah,
just an
he was
evil
Draco
actor.
Malfoy, wasn't he?
Yeah, his father's gonna hear all about it. Anyway,
His
no,
father's gonna hear all about it and get the Sorcerer's Stone, which was actually the Philosopher's Stone.
yeah, that's it. All makes sense.
Oh
Malfoy,
yeah, because the Harry Potter world and the DC world are all mixed in together.
Malfoy is alchemy. But
Malfoy
no,
is alchemy.
I
Okay,
I
okay.
really do like the way he was talking in this episode. Like, I've always just, if they're just wasting their powers that they're giving to him. So like I feel like the kind of plight that Alchemy's on is he's trying to find somebody worthy enough to keep their powers that they had. And he was
Oh.
explaining it. He's like, they're all just wasting them. So he'll give powers to whoever he wants, but he hasn't found anybody yet who's worth it.
Oh.
So there's a method to my madness.
There is. I like that. That's good thoughts. Good thoughts, sir.
All right, what else do you have?
Sumptuous day. And
Coming
he's like,
soon.
and then he came out with all the coffees. Oh my gosh, and he was called, San Francisco, I have a French roast.
I do
Oh, it
think
was the best.
so.
I love this new Wells. This new Wells makes me so happy.
Now, I'm glad they're not doing like a whole. I thought it was gonna be like they'll get this Wells for a couple weeks, go find a new Wells for a couple weeks, go find different Wells. Like I thought when they
No, I
fleshed out
like the I
Wells,
need I
I think he's gonna be permanent though.
Yeah,
Like
they
it's
need to keep
here to
him.
stay.
They need to keep him. I want to read this book.
If
Like, oh,
if
do
they
they have
can,
any Wells books? I want to know. Like, I really like them. And the coffee was wiped out by blight on Earth 19. If coffee was wiped out by blight on Earth, our Earth, or whatever Earth 1 we're on, I would be a very
yeah,
angry person.
I don't think you'd be working.
Ah,
Just be at home all day fuming.
yeah.
There's no fucking coffee. It's bullshit. but
Need
uh,
coffee to go to work.
but yeah, that's this Wells. But I don't know. Now, I still feel like this Wells is just acting dumb.
You think so?
I think he is. I don't trust
I
Wells,
think
and
he
maybe that's
is
just because 2 seasons
really
worth of Wells have, kind
I
of
think he
screwed us
is
over.
really dumb. He was like, I gotta triangulate I
try.
gotta triangulate
This is different from what I have in
the
my.
this computer is completely different than ours. Um, it's like, dude, you really don't know what you're doing. No, that is really not knowing what he's doing. He's just like, I'm a muse. I'm only here because I'm a pretty face and I can write things. All right, I can make a good story.
Now, Cisco, this episode, he had no chill for like anything. He was just
Aggro?
mad
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
He's, I don't, I kind of like it though. Like you like no idea what you're doing, Wells.
Well, he's got to step up now. He's like top dog now. He's like the
Right?
main guy. You
He's
know what I
fine.
mean? He's got to step up. I thought, well, you were bringing up Julian earlier. I thought, excuse me, I thought, when he brought them, okay, so he was tattling? When he was tattletaling?
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh, stitches
I
get
was like,
stitches,
really?
Julian.
Why would
Ugh.
you, really? Are you
Get,
serious? Like, you have to get that low? Like, that's not adult to do. You know what I mean? You don't do that. He's a little baby girl.
so
For
I know I brought
real.
it up already, but like that just made me think like Tom Felton and the whole "my father will hear about this." Like he's
Yeah,
just tattling to the police chief. I was like, oh, please.
right? Oh.
Oh,
Hey, another thing do you think there's really a metahuman app?
I bet you I can find out here in about 2 seconds.
You're gonna look at I figured
Oh,
as much. I'd
it,
bring that up on the I figured I'd bring that up on the show to see if you could actually look for a metahuman app while we were on the show. But I didn't even look it up, to be completely honest with you. I was like, I heard them, they were like, oh, our metahuman app just went off, and I was like, I wonder if there really is a metahuman app. I didn't look it up. I refrained from actually going to the Google Play Store and looking for a metahuman app, but I don't
um,
know.
there's an app called MetaHuman Inc. that has like
Metahuman
it's like a
Inc.
book.
Oh, lame.
Yeah, that's not what I want. I want to be
No.
able to tell you if there's a giant 30-story monster running around my city.
Right? What'd you think about that giant 30-story monster?
I thought it was a cop out.
I
Like
saw
I
the
was saying
first
at the
when I
beginning of
first.
the episode.
What'd you say?
At the beginning of the episode, when I was first watching, I thought it was just gonna be one of those filler, like, oh, this is
Oh,
it's a
the dumb.
monster.
I
It's
was like,
Godzilla.
I agree. I was like, oh great, it's a baby Cloverfield. Wonderful. We don't have some idiot running around with a video camera on his phone filming this episode, thank God. And then when he was like, it's a giant," and he was like, "It's Andre the or is it Yao Ming size or Andre the Giant size?" And I was like, "Okay, wait a minute. Those guys are kind of like the same, aren't they?" And then I went and looked it up, and Yao Ming from China is 7'6", weighing in at 310 pounds, and Andre Rene Roussimoff, he's from France. He is 7'4", weighing in at 520 pounds.
Whoa.
So they're about 2 inches and 200 pounds away from each other, 210 pounds. And I don't think that'd be a good comparison between two like types of giants, don't you think?
Right?
I don't know. I mean,
Huge
I
difference.
maybe
Like,
I would pick like, you know, Andre the Giant and somebody that I guess Yao Ming. Actually, yeah, okay, maybe it was a good comparison of two giants because you got like a tall, skinny masculine or a tall, huge masculine. You know what I mean? Like,
I would have said, like, is it like Kevin Hart or Shaquille O'Neal? Because Kevin Hart. No, Kevin Hart might be a midget, but he is comedically a giant.
yeah, yeah.
But I did like how
Okay.
watching the episode and the monsters running around the city, it didn't actually cause any damage.
Yeah, I noticed all of
But
that. I
I did.
definitely
I had to
noticed all of that.
the third time I watched it, it finally clicked. I was like, oh, it's a hologram. It's not actually doing all this damage. That's just people being idiots.
Yeah.
Like this thing could have just walked down the street and not touched anything, and nothing would have happened.
And people could have just been like, "Oh, look at that monster," and then they just kept going and with along with their lives, and nothing literally would have happened at all. Nothing. This kid
Yeah,
literally would have failed in his duty at making people scared and making himself feel better.
but yeah, that's this whole episode. I actually, this is gonna be a surprise. I want to know what you rated this episode first.
I'm not gonna rate it yet because I got a lot more to talk about.
Oh,
Oh boy, I'm gonna bring it up too.
okay. Let's do it.
Um, I want to know what you think happened between Barry and Julian before Flashpoint, like before Flash remembers.
He kind of explained it. So like when Julian had started, he had a really big case, and then Barry kind of like stole it right out from under him. And so like Barry got put as like the Barry didn't do like any of the work on it, I guess. And Barry got put as like the lead
When did that get
lab
explained?
tech. There was this episode. He's like, "Do you have?" Because Julian was talking to me. He said, "Do you have any ideas how it feels to have to work so hard on the case or whatever and just have it stolen out right from under you, Barry?"
I thought he was talking about the last case they were working on when he stole the sample and figured it out for him.
I thought he was just talking about when they first when they
Well,
during Flashpoint.
maybe you're right, and I'm just an idiot.
I don't know.
All
We'll
right,
find out.
how about when Wells brought up World War M and all of the metahumans were like brought to one area to have a big huge duke out on Earth 19. What do you think that looks like and what do you think happened there?
So like Flashpoint Paradox, the animated series.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of thought that he was talking about. Like it was
Oh,
like set
okay.
Flashpoint Paradox, and it happened on his Earth.
Oh, all right. All right. And then the gladiator reference was I have that written down as well because he
Sweaty
was
man.
like what yeah the sweaty men he was like what's that movie where they had the two guys and they fought it out to the end in a coliseum and it was about a gladiator and they're like gladiator oh yeah on my earth we called it sweaty men I don't know why I was like what really like, Earth
The part,
19 for real? Is everybody on Earth 19 just dumb? Like,
the best part about that was is later when he's like, "Yeah, I'm your muse." Like looking back, it's like, and you couldn't give them a better name for that movie. You just call it Sweaty Men. You
yeah,
just let them do
exactly,
that.
exactly. I was like, what? Oh, Caitlyn's dad. They
Have we been introduced
briefly
to Caitlyn's
talked
dad
about
yet?
Caitlyn's dad and how he died, and that, like, made the mom really jaded and blah, 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 blah. What's the story? What do you think the story is behind Caitlyn's dad?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about Caitlyn's dad.
Really? You don't remember them bringing up Caitlyn? Like, 'cause Caitlyn was at her mom's facility and she was like, "You don't understand what it's like to have a person die,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
don't understand what it's like to lose a husband." And she was like, "Yeah, I lost my husband a year ago." And I was like, "Wait a minute your mom didn't know that you were married and your mom didn't know that like wow how much do you guys communicate at all none and then I was like for real like you went and asked this lady for help like this lady isn't even your mom at this point in time you know what I mean like you might as well have gone and asked some random other scientist for help because this person isn't your mom if she doesn't know that you were fucking married or even your husband died a year later after that. Like, for real? This person's
Yeah.
not your mom.
Caitlyn just shows up. What's up, Grandma? What you talking about?
Right? Like, do you even
Oh, by the way,
remember
I had a
what the,
kid.
like, I don't know. But yeah, Caitlin's dad. You don't remember the Caitlin's dad conversation, huh?
I do with
Oh,
the refresher there
oh,
when she's
sorry.
like,
Yeah, with my
Connor
nice
died.
little rant that I did for you. I'm glad.
But because I was gonna say at first I didn't remember like that was one of the things I originally thought when I was watching the episode. I was like, are we gonna get backstory on Caitlyn's dad?
Yeah.
In depth more than that, or is that gonna be like one of those touch and go points?
All right. Yeah, we'll probably get a little bit of backstory on Caitlin's dad. Since she's a main character, we have to get something. I don't
I don't
know.
know. It took Arrow 4 seasons to get into Felicity's parents.
Yeah, so true, so true. But like they never name dropped her parents or anything.
No, but after they did, it all made sense.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, okay, so what about the scientist that was like, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna keep you here, blah blah blah. Why would you? Okay, number one, I want to bring up, why would you threaten somebody you just saw freeze molten metal? Number one, why would you do that? You just saw this chick freeze like molten tungsten, was it? I think it was specifically. It was like a molten piece of tungsten, and she froze it, right? And absorbed all of its energy. And then he, not even a day later, in the same day that he saw that happen, she wants to go home. And he's like, no, I
No,
have no powers. I just have a lock. I think I'm gonna keep you here. And why would you, like, for real? This chick just like froze molten tungsten,
so
and you think you're gonna hold her hostage?
this is actually kind of funny. So have you ever had those days where like you're walking through your house and you really need to do something, and you walk into a room and you forget what you were trying to do, like right when you walk through the door? I'm pretty sure that's what happened to this guy. So he was walking through the building and he walked in the lab and forgot she could do
Yep,
that. And
yep.
he's like,
I
"Oh, the
guess
door's
he's
shut.
like, you
She
know
can't
what?
go
No, you're not gonna ruin my life.
in." Like, she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and she's like, wait a minute. You're an idiot. I freeze you.
Oh, since when can you do that?"
Mom's like, just go home. I'll cover this all up. I'll cover this all up. Just go home.
Right. Which I don't know. I'm thinking he might come back as like, those villains that are scorned and they're just
Yep.
super pissed because
Yep.
something happened to him. I think that he's gonna be like that to Caitlyn later,
Probably.
and that's how
Probably.
everyone's gonna find out.
Yep. Probably. Um. So you already brought up the fact that you think that Wells is actually still playing stupid,
Oh yeah.
and how he said he was a science author. I think he's just an author, and his quote unquote partner that he was working with that actually decrypted the message. I feel like that person is the person that is the science, and he's just an author and a muse, if you will,
I
because
think
he was
that
like, I'm a science author.
I think the person he's working with is the Flash from that world, or like
Probably.
maybe they work in like Bizarro world and he really is a good Wells and it's a bad Flash.
Maybe. Very maybe. Very maybe.
Maybe.
When they were taking down that last monster, and he was like, "All right, Barry, do Empire," and he wanted to just wrap around like he wrapped around in the snow speeder on the AT-AT, and
I
he's like,
actually want.
"Emperor of the Empire of the Sun, Barry," and Cisco looked at him, and I was just like, I face palmed literally because I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I face palmed. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me," and he's like, Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, Barry. you know?
I I don't remember if I actually Snapchatted you at this time, but as soon as I saw that scene, I wanted to Snapchat you because shortly after, when Cisco was like, "Yeah, Empire," and then he says, "Yeah, wrap it like an at,"
Yeah, and
I
then
was
he
like,
was
"Wait."
Adact, and then the other guy was like Adact, and I was like, hey, actually, I'm gonna go stupid nerd right here, but in the new Star Wars movie that's coming out next month, the big walkers on that planet, they are actually called AT-ACTs. They are AT-ACTs, and they actually look completely different than the AT-ATs from Empire Strikes Back, and they're actually called AT-ACTs, which is an AT-ACT. And that's a little bit of random knowledge that nobody probably needed to know. So
Homework for
we're gonna
you.
go on because this is not a Star Wars podcast. Um, yeah, you already brought up that you think that Barry's other partner is uh gonna be,
Alchemy.
or you think, sorry, not Barry's other partner, but Wells's partner in Earth 19 is Barry, the
It,
Flash.
yeah, it's gonna be the Flash
Oh,
in
it's
that
not gonna
world.
be Barry.
Not Barry, but just
Not
the
Barry, but
Flash.
just the Flash from Earth 19. I think it's going to be Barry from Earth 19 is going to be the smart one,
That'd be weird.
wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty cool though.
And then where I get to this is where I get to round about the end of the episode. What was it? I wrote down that they're gonna be mates. Barry and Julian. He's like, we can go. He told him his whole story about how he was a rich kid that only wanted to be look at bugs and be the forensic guy. You know what I mean? And he was the outcast rich kid and blah blah blah. So he moved here to do what he wanted to do. And and I was like, oh, they're gonna be mates. And then I also have the little kid that made the Cloverfield monster. How him and Joe had that little heart to heart right at the end as well. Do you think the little kid's gonna ever come back at the end? And do you think maybe Joe might visit him while he's in jail or whatever and try to mentor the kid, or do you think they're just gonna drop this storyline and move on?
I feel like it was just kind of an episode long storyline, but it might be something like Joe. You might see an later on in an episode where like Joe was late to a meeting. He's like, "Oh, I was off talking to, you
Yeah,
know,
the
Fatty
kid.
over there." Just kidding. But yeah, I don't think it was something that they'll delve too deep into.
Yeah, all right. So what would you have rated this?
But I have to know your rating first because mine's surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
I gave it a neutron. I was like I wasn't too impressed with much. I mean like it was a good episode. It made me laugh a lot. I definitely laughed a lot, but like, it just didn't give me too much. It was super fillery with the kid, with the Cloverfield giant, and them trying to figure out all this. It was super fillery, I felt. So I gave it a neutron for sure.
Yep. I actually gave the show or this week's an electron.
Ooh, tell me
I did
why.
I did not like it because it just like you
That's
said, it
why
was
you
really
that's
fillery.
why you cut off like halfway through you were like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I got a whole page full right
No,
now.
I did not like this week's episode because like it had a lot in it, but I don't think it was very storyline driving as to what's going to be happening in this season. And I really wanted the trailer for next week's episode. That's getting a proton all day because I really want to know what's happening with Kid Flash. But
Yeah, I'm excited for Kid Flash. Like, I'm like, finally they're doing something with Wally. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to
that
see what they do with them.
that's what I wanted this week. But instead, they gave me some
Some
six,
child who can
7, 8
make a Cloverfield
chi-
giant.
Yeah, like I was just like, no, I don't need that right now. I need Kid Flash, and they
Yeah,
understood that for next week. It's all right.
you'll get it.
Everybody
You'll
gets
get
one.
it. You'll get it on Tuesday. You'll get it on Tuesday.
All right.
All right,
So
moving on to Arrow. This is episode 5 of Arrow called Human Target. And starting off, I want to say, holy crap, is this shit brutal. It was so brutal. Like just the way Renee was getting beat down, I was like, dang, this like the makeup, like it looked like they beat the living daylights out of Renee, like legitly. Like they look like they actually had to beat the crap out of this actor to get this. Like I was surprised.
it's
I was
sure.
surprised. I've seen people get beat up, and I was like, dang.
But you got to remember, Church is a big boy in that show. So I
Yeah,
mean,
and
when
he
he
was
beats
wearing
somebody,
brass knuckles too.
yeah. So when he beats somebody, they stay beat.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just at the beginning. How, like, did you see the way
Oh
he
yeah,
looked? Like, it was
it
dripping
was
off of his face. The blood looked real, like, real, real.
his
Like,
face looked caved in.
yeah, it was crazy. I was so impressed.
Now, with that, I can actually say that with my first bullet point here, I was not disappointed in him for giving up Oliver's name.
No, not at all.
I
Did
was
you
like,
see
I,
how
per-
beat
yeah,
down he got?
I was like, I wouldn't,
I
I didn't
wouldn't
get
have
past
gotten
that
that
far.
far. No way. No way. You gotta be kidding me. No way.
He's a trooper.
Trooper, for sure. I also want to point out, I got to episode 5, and I was like, wait a minute, didn't Oliver get kicked out of the Bratva in like season one of Arrow? So what's going on with this Bratva storyline? Where are we going with this?
Well,
Because
good.
I pretty sure he got kicked out because he like wouldn't do the favors or whatever. He was being a bitch about doing the favors in season one or season two. I can't remember if it's season one or season two. It's probably season one, realistically. But yeah, didn't he not like what's going on with this being shown in season five when he got kicked out of the Brodfa in season one? You know what I mean?
So
Or is he gonna get back into the Brodfa? Is the Brodfa gonna come to him for something?
I've noticed with the episodes, like as the seasons progress, their the flashbacks in the episodes follow like a different timeline, but it's the same timeline. So what it is the timeline for the flashback started when he was on the island, and then you have the regular story starting when he got back. Well, the regular story started moving on. The flashback timeline started moving parallel with it. So right now, where we're at, we're right before season one in the flashback. Like literally right before like came back for the second time, I think. Because he came back, saw Thea, went back to the island, came back, and then went back to Lianyu after season one, and then they had to bring him back. So this is after he came back from Lianyu the second time when Argus sent him there to take over that internment camp or whatever. So then they flew him up to Russia before he came back for the second time. So this is I know it's super like the Arrow timeline, especially when you throw Flash in there, is just a million times messed up. But that is the one thing I actually get. Like he's here. This is where we're at in season five. Season one starts here. The Bratva storyline starts right here.
All right. So okay, sorry for the technical difficulties. I had a mic die and it was had to be re not dead and now it's re not dead and um I got to get caught up. All right. Um so when he was on the island, I'm trying to get this straight now. Let me try to get re caught up and re straightened out.
Okay.
When he was on the I or okay, so when he was in Russia, okay, so he got picked up on after he left Lianyu, and then he went to China and worked with the Chinese and Japanese guy and or Chinese and Japanese girl, or the Chinese guy and the Japanese girl or whatever, right? And they were working with Argus, and then they did all that stuff, and then Argus was gonna fly him home, but he wanted to go to Russia first, so he went
So
to Russia.
how the timeline works is his boat crashed. He's on Lianyu.
Okay.
That all happened. Then he was told like he was like going to be going home. He got picked up by the Chinese and Japanese people. Had to work for Argus.
Mm-hmm.
After he was done working for Argus and they like stopped that biological threat, they did send him home for the first time. That's where season one starts.
Oh, okay.
And then he goes
But see,
back after.
he got picked up at Leon Yu.
Yep. So season one ends, if you remember, he goes back to Lian Yu to
Mm-hmm.
meditate and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Argus contracted him to do the stuff that he did with Damien Dark, like for that idol.
Oh, okay.
And after he leaves Lian Yu, that time is when he goes to Russia before coming home.
But in season one, he got kicked out of Brodva.
Because season one, I don't know, was he already in Bratva in season one? So this might all happen before season one then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This happened. The timeline is crazy trying to figure this out, huh?
I'm gonna have to like get a poster board and like draw it out.
Yeah, okay, we'll figure it out and we'll get back to it. Because this
Okay.
timeline is fucked and we're trying to figure it out.
I'm gonna,
Um,
go buy a poster board tomorrow.
yep. Uh, okay, so other than the Brodfa stuff, I'm sorry that I had to bring that up, but it had to be brought up, and then we mind fucked ourselves, had a technical difficulty, mind fucked again, and now we got to figure out the timeline. So when we figure out the timeline, or if somebody wants to, explain it or whatever, but we're gonna figure this shit out. I don't care. Um, they were talking about the drugs that Church was bringing in, and he said, He was gonna bring in um what was it? Vertigo,
Heroin.
Vertigo, heroin, and slam. What the hell is slam?
Slam was the stuff that they were growing. Remember, they explained it in season 4. It was the stuff they were growing on the NU. It made, or it was like a mix between cocaine and heroin.
I thought that was the other stuff, not slam, but not vertigo, but the stuff that the dude fell in.
Was it?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was like
because I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
they.
know. Look it up. Look it up. I'm pretty sure that was something else. And I think I don't know. I was thinking slam might be like you remember did you ever watch Batman Beyond?
That was the one with like the splicers, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
they had splicers. You remember that episode where they had those patches and they would like get like a little stronger or whatever? They were like called slam patches or whatever. Something along those lines. I think that was they might be talking about that unless you could bring up something else.
Let me see here, because that was season or episode 2 that they thrown him into that pit, right?
Episode 2 that they threw him in the pit?
Yeah.
What
No,
pit?
that was the episode with Ragman. The vat of stuff that guy
Oh
kept
yeah.
throwing.
Yeah. That was like episode 2 or 3.
Episode 3. Episode 2 was the introduction of Ragman.
Oh, all right. Yeah, then yeah, it was episode 3.
All right, so episode 3 here. Let's see. Yep, Suicide Squad, Deadshot return. Wait, season 5, episode 3. Yeah, Deadshot returns. Yeah, Samson. Samson not only survived his scuffle with Wild Dog, he walked away from his Duncan, a chemical cocktail impervious to pain. What was the chemical cocktail, though? Let me see here. What?
Oh well.
I don't know, but we'll find out. I'm sure, because now that Oliver done been well, the human target done been shot. Uh, I'm sure Church. Well, no, he will not. Duh.
Yeah,
I was
Church
about
is
to just
dead.
say, I'm sure Church will move on with his plan, but he's done dead,
Yep. Uh
and
I
that's
wanted to
because
point out Wild Dog took out 3 people after he had that beatdown and he had to dig his own grave. As soon as Arrow popped in and took out the one dude's gun or whatever, Wild Dog had that shovel and was popping off 3. He took out 3 people and he had the beatdown. Isn't that crazy?
I'll say he probably was blind. Like his eyes were all swollen shut, and he
Yeah,
just
and
seen
he
this stuff
still
like a
did that
madman.
shit. He still
Ugh.
had the beatdown.
I know.
Even after he took that torture. That was just crazy.
When you were first telling me like look up, because like when he was wearing his original outfit and told
Yeah.
me to look that up, the first thing I saw was like this little comic strip between Wild Dog Spartan and the Arrow, and Spartan was talking to the Arrow. He's like, I thought you missed. How come you do that? He's like, well, I never miss. He just obliterates everything in a 10-yard radius. I'm like, yeah, it's a specialty.
That's awesome.
Like,
I have another thing I want to point out as well. I really don't think that Felicity, if you know anything about Felicity's relationships, they're not going to last. So her and her new cop boyfriend are not going to last that long, I don't think either.
yeah. So, you know how you gave Barry and Cisco a couple name?
Yeah?
I gave Felicity and her new boyfriend William or Billiam. It's Bellicity.
It's Felicity?
Felicity, and I wrote right next to it.
Wow.
New boy looks like a tool.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like her. I don't like her new boyfriend. I think her and Rags need to have a thing. But whatever.
I'm telling you, there's too much tension there. Not sexual tension either, just angry
Just angry
tension.
tension. You know, I and every and then you get to the point where John Diggle and Renee have their first little talk where in Renee's like old boxing area or whatever.
Yeah.
And every time I see him, I'm like, every time I see John Diggle, I'm like, when are you gonna change your last name to Stewart? You know?
Right. It's one of those Kid Flash things. You're just kind of waiting for him to bring land.
Yeah. Like
You're
just
like, come on, just do it already.
change your last name to Stewart, get a ring, become his lantern.
But it could
Do
happen here
something.
soon though, because with like I feel like when him and Wild Dog were having that heart to heart, like and he's like, yeah, I live here now, and he has a bodyguard from Argus, and he's
Yep.
trying to get like into secret, not secret service, protective custody, witness protection, Witsack, John Smith. That's my name. Don't wear it out. But no, he's kind of getting into that witness protection kind of like, okay, maybe I should change my name if I want to find a house or a job or so hopefully this season, maybe like halfway through, we'll see a John Stewart Green Arrow or Green Lantern.
That would be so cool, man, dude. You just John Stewart. I'm gonna change my last name to Stewart. And that's I don't know. And
Well, I'd rather
then the first the threat, like Prometheus comes in and says this is your uh second warning. You won't get a third or whatever.
right,
And then the dude jumps in front of the arrow, and I was just like, oh my god, is that Sportsmaster?
right, and I don't know too much about Sportsmaster other than what I've looked up and what you've told me. So it's Artemis's dad, but if
Yep.
that is Sportsmaster, when does Artemis's mom show up?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know at all.
Or maybe it'll be like an episode where they're dealing with Artemis's mom and like Sportsmaster is revealed
Well,
to be Sportsmaster.
well, in Young Justice, Artemis's mom was paralyzed
Oh.
from the waist down and in a wheelchair.
Well, I mean, so was Felicity.
Yeah, so true. Very true. But like they're poor, so like Artemis's mom was like in a poor situation. Um, so she wouldn't have enough money to, do that back surgery.
Right. Now, you can tell I wrote my notes like as I was watching the episode
Yeah.
because a lot of them are crossed out. Like my Prometheus one, the first one I wrote down was like, well, does he want to kill the arrow or is he just trying to protect him? And then you get to the end where he's like, all right, this was your third warning. You're dead now. And
Yep.
they're next. Like,
Yep. I was
okay, she
like,
wants to kill him.
ooh, Prometheus. What I like okay, so honestly, like I don't know. I really want Blue Beetle really bad, you know? So I get this I hear Prometheus, and then we have Dr. Alchemy, and then I'm thinking Cord Industries, and then I'm thinking Jaime Reyes, and then I'm thinking the Blue Beetle and a Scarab, and all these things are coming into my mind, and I'm like, but we don't even have any of the thing, like we barely have any of the first, like we getting Prometheus next week, like for real, like,
Right.
I
Um,
don't know.
I will let you know when I did try to look up Prometheus, the first thing I saw, and it kind of made me giggle because I at least know enough about the Arrowverse to know this probably isn't true. But the first link that pops up on Google when you Google Prometheus Arrowverse is Arsenal Prometheus. I was like,
Oh wow.
I was like, yeah, no, please try
Nah,
again.
nah,
Watch all five
nah,
seasons, then come back and tell me that.
nah. I don't think Arsenal's Prometheus. No,
Yeah.
sorry, bad theory. No offense if that's your theory or
Oh
anything
no,
like
that's not
that, but
mine.
not
No,
yours. But anybody else out there listening, no offense if that's your theory. It's a bad theory.
if that's
I'm
your theory,
sorry.
rewatch the 5 seasons and then come back to
I
me.
don't know. I mean, you can email us or whatever and tell us anything different, but whatever. I also wanted to say that is Renee's mentor gonna be John from now on?
Oh yeah, they totally got like a father son bromance going on. Like he's gonna teach him the rope. He's gonna show him
Yeah,
the ropes.
yeah, I think so too. Because like, well, number one, I feel like Renee got a lot more respect. He was like, "Tell me about a time when you were tortured," and he's like, "I was tortured by my brother." He's like, "Your
Right?
brother tortured you? Oh my God,
Oh,
tell me, master." And he's like, "I will teach you, young grasshopper." And then
but
he's like, "This ain't gonna be one of them little hippy dippy things." I was like, "Wow, way to be a fucking idiot." I don't know.
well, and I also feel like Diggle, if he does become the Green Lantern, he has to teach somebody else how to deal with Oliver.
Yep,
So it has to be
so
Wild
true.
Dog. So I mean, what's a superhero without like your quirky black counterpart,
Yep,
Iris?
yep.
uh, so do you have anything else for the Arrow this week?
I wanted to know who the name Christopher Chance was name dropped. I want to know
Yeah,
if you end up looking into that at all.
that is the Human Target.
Yep.
He is John
Uh,
Pickles' bodyguard. He had a couple appearances, not too many, solo in some comic books. Uh, he's pretty much. I don't remember if it said he was an assassin or somebody who worked for Argus, but he pretty much like fakes people's death for a living.
Sweet. All right. Now, Who's the dude talking to the hot chick that gave the number to Oliver and was slandering him? She was like, I slander you for money, but we should go out sometime. Let me give you a number.
Right?
Who was she talking to at the end? And like he was like, oh, the person who worked for Oliver was Christopher Chance, and this person was seen in a Russian bar when he was supposed to be on the island. What was that all about?
I don't know who that
On,
was.
on the very very end. What are your thoughts? What do you think that's going to come into play? Because he's supposed to be on an island. He was supposed to be on Lian Yu, and he was had his picture taken at the bar and in the Broadfa bar, and he showed that to the lady at the end and was like, what do you think about it? What do you think about it?
Maybe that's, you know how we said we have a kind of running tally on when Oliver's going to be not mayor anymore? I'm thinking they'll probably bring that out around when that happens. That's how they're going to out him. Be like, your mayor just lies to you all the time. Or maybe she'll find out that he's the Arrow, somebody working with Sportsmaster,
All
and
right.
she'll just talk. It'll be like
I think it's
Snapper
somebody.
is,
What?
like Snapper is in Supergirl.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
feel like he's gonna out her sometime. She's just gonna out him.
yeah, that's true. Or she flips script and works for Arrow and outs the other guys.
That could happen.
Oliver's a good looking guy. I mean he can get chicks to flip script. I bet he
Sarah
could.
and Laura.
Sarah and he
Yeah,
dated
not or
sisters. All right.
at the same time.
At the same time, he can get
Like,
girls to flip script. All right. Uh, so what do you rate this one? What do you rate this one?
I gave this one a proton.
Yeah, I
Just
gave it a proton too. I thought it was awesome. Brutal at the beginning. Good solid story. Sportsmaster showed up. I was like, "Oh, he ain't dead. He got taken out too quick by the by the face switcher guy, you know?" So like, you
it
know,
just it was a lot of good content this episode. It
yeah,
left me
really
feeling
good.
satisfied about where the arrow's at.
Yep, I was left. It was a nice little, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Kind of cliffhanger. It was very satisfying all the way through. I definitely gave it a proton.
All right.
Oh, actually, I want to say one more thing. Prometheus. Do you think he's gonna have cybernetic implants, or do you think he's just gonna be? What kind of Prometheus are we looking at? Your
So I actually
thoughts, and then we'll
yes,
move on to DC Legends.
I wrote this down on the back of one of my cards somewhere. So I'm thinking Prometheus, like this is gonna be his second iteration. Like, so when I was looking him up, I heard or I saw that there was three different Promethei. I don't know what the plural of that is. So the first one, he had like a metal foreskin and he had like he could like heat up his armor a bunch. Second one, he was kind of more like Batman-ish. He didn't really have like any superpowers, but he was very well trained. And I didn't actually read into the third one too much, just 'cause it was like a kid. It was in like World
Yeah,
War III. I was like, that has nothing to
the
do with
third
this.
the third one I didn't. Yeah, I saw that same thing. I'm actually the same, if not the exact opposite. You know what I mean? The same as in the third one, I cast it out right away. I was like, no, this isn't anything to do with this. But I was more hoping for the first iteration of Prometheus because it's got, Dr. Alchemy in it. They steal promethium from Cord Industries. Cord Industries had what's his name, Cord, who was the original Blue Beetle who found the scarab, figured out everything about the scarab, but was too afraid to put it on and became a Blue Beetle. He had his own Blue Beetle costume that he created, and he fought as the Blue Beetle or whatever. And then, his lab blew up, and Jaime Reyes ended up with the scarab, and he actually got it on his back and actually like took on the scarab and everything like that. I'm hoping for that, but we'll see, I guess. And if my iteration is like I'm thinking he might have like some sort of cybernetic implant or something like that, and then eventually when they find like what happens eventually like that he'll get the skin and the suit that he wore and everything like that. But yours is also very very true too. It could very well be one or the other.
With the second one, I was thinking. I actually just remembered the name I was trying to remember earlier from Supergirl, Metallo or Metallo.
Ooh, okay.
So Metallo was part of the Injustice Gang, which is something that Prometheus is a part of as well. He was brought in later on, like by Lex Luthor. The only problem with that whole situation is that's the third Prometheus.
Oh man, so
So
now we did not cast away the third one.
right,
Shucks.
so it's like Lex Luthor. What if he like something from Supergirl crosses over and he brings in a Prometheus? Like
What if
I
this is
don't
a
know.
fourth Prometheus and has nothing to do with any of the other ones?
And that could very well be. They could do
That
that.
yeah, they could do that very well be too. Anyways, let's move on to DC Legends of Tomorrow, episode 4, Abominations.
This is my kind of episode.
Go for it. Start
Oh,
me
I
off
love.
here.
Oh God, Abomination. So, Civil War zombies.
Enough
Si-
said, right?
Enough said. We're done. We can end the podcast here.
Done. We're done. Just Civil War zombies. We're done.
No, but there was a lot to take in this episode, and it started off really action packed, and I was writing down like everything as I heard it because I didn't know what was going to be important. So
Mm-hmm.
starting off, I was like, all right, T90 virus. What's that? Of course, that's the virus
The
that created the
TX90
bomb. Yeah,
virus.
TX90. The sounds like a calculator.
Yep.
Um,
In
and
from 2235.
Yep. And they were hired to steal that. So right off the bat, I'm like, all right, wait, who wanted you to get that? What were they were going to use it for? Like, what were the plans? Right after, he's like, all right, get on the Dauntless and come rescue me. I was like, all right, what's the Dauntless? Who runs that? Where's this going? Like, everything in this episode had so much content in the beginning, and then you get about halfway through the episode, and it's a giant history lesson.
Yeah, it's not even halfway through the episode. It was after the guy was like, Dontar, this is Dontar. Luther's dead, and Alec, and blah blah blah, and it spread the TX90 virus, and blah blah blah, and then it like jumped into like that happened, and then like you see him drop into Civil War times, and he spreads the virus, and then it cuts, and you're like, okay, and then it goes
Right?
to Barry, old man Barry, and they're listening to the message, and he's talking about this war that's going to happen, and I was like, okay, what the hell are they talking about? First off, before we get into the history lesson,
Right.
what do you think Barry is talking about? What war? What is going on in this message? You've had a week to think about it, ponder in the back of your head. You have any theories yet?
So, with what's played out so far, we've had Wells mention World War M. We have Prometheus. He might be from World War III. It
Okay.
it might be like an Eobard Thawne brought him back. Reverse Flash came in and was like, "All right, Prometheus, go kill the Arrow, and I'll go take care of everything else." And
Okay.
so like it might be they're leading up to in 2056. That's when World War III happens, and they tried to get Rip Hunter to stop it, but they couldn't let the Legends do it, or else it would have fucked something up.
Okay.
That's where I'm thinking. Like the war he's talking about is that giant war between all the metas and
All
like the
right.
heroes and aliens and getting
That,
it.
yeah, actually, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, that is going to be a giant meta alien war, and it is going to destroy the planet. And they need to stop it somehow, but they can't tell the crew because I don't know how they're going to stop it and fix it but everything's fucked and you guys got to figure it out, but keep it a secret.
But you can't tell. Speaking of which, I did have a question for this episode. So you know how like they're like, all right, you never know what you're gonna change, blah blah blah. Did they
Hmm.
ever actually end up explaining not to tell historians that it was a zombie attack? Like not
Right.
or like what if Ulysses S. Grant just goes back and like, yeah, we fought off a horde of zombies.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Or don't they have one of those like Men in Black flashy things where they wipe their
I don't think that wipes their memory. I think that just knocks them out.
Oh, I thought they had a memory wiping Men in Black flashy thing too, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I want to know. Okay, so at the beginning they're like, that looks like a horde of, and like, Gray is like, no, don't say it. But
Don't
everybody
say it.
knows it's a zombie, right? Okay, that looks like a horde of, no, don't say it, but it's a zombie. Okay, got it. I understand.
Okay.
Why are you tackling zombies then? Why are we tackling zombies?
Wait,
We shouldn't be
they
tackling
didn't all
zombies.
tackle them.
Huh?
They didn't all tackle. They
Oh,
fought
there
them,
was
but they didn't
let's see.
tackle him.
Mick totally was tackling zombies. All right,
But Mick
that's why
also
he
got
got bit.
bit.
All right. Vixen was tackling and throwing zombies. I mean, yeah, she's got gorilla powers, whatever, but she's not gonna get stopped from getting bit. And then
Yeah,
she's gonna be a zombie with gorilla powers. Not cool. Number
that's the.
two, Jax was tackling zombies, all right? Jax was tackling zombies. Everybody was tackling zombies, all right? I mean, Sarah was the only one stabbing them with her little fucking butter knife, but everybody else was fucking tackling zombies. And I had a problem because I don't think it's smart to tackle zombies, and Gray was the only one who was in denial. The rest of them should not have been tackling zombies.
That's why Sarah's the captain.
Yeah, I guess.
But no,
Just saying. They
I
shouldn't have
did.
been tackling the zombies.
I liked with the whole Gray sitting there like, oh no, not, don't say it, don't say it, I don't
Yeah,
like it.
yeah, that was
Rash
good fun.
here.
I rather enjoyed Gray having a phobia of zombies.
Right?
He's like,
Because
I know it's an irrational phobia, but I just don't like them. All right, it's probable.
probable. But yeah, it was a good episode. Because even with zombies and breaking that into there, and they split up the team entirely. So we had Gray, Ray, and Rory on the ship, Sarah and Captain Steele, Commander
Yeah.
Steele, with the army and the two black people, slaves. But yeah, they split up the team. They were all still did their own things. It still felt fast paced and action packed in the episode, but it was just one giant history lesson after that. Like it was just, and this was all stuff that happened too.
Yeah,
Like
I wanted to ask you, since it was you being a person of color and it being um, a Civil War, like the worst time in the Civil War. Like, what did it like? How did it make you feel? Like, what were your feelings? Like, did you just get like angry? What was it? What was it?
so, this episode actually it like blew my mind because
Yeah,
like when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh cool, Civil War zombies. It took me like war zombies, but no, like when they brought in like the abuse and like the songs that
yeah,
slaves sing and like they like actually got into it. I was like, oh, this
yeah.
is actually kind of like eye opening.
I was really like it definitely I was just like, "Oh man, that's really this is hitting hard." Like I felt really bad and I just felt I was just like, "Man, this is crazy." Like I can't believe that like I knew they were treated bad and I knew they were treated even worse than what was portrayed in the show and all, right? But like it just made me feel even worse to actually see it happen in like a more like reenacted in a time where like we have like a better scenery where we can actually reenact something like that, like thrown in my face in a cartoon, or not in a cartoon but in a comic book setting, like just like to know that these people went through that kind of thing, 100 and some odd years ago. It was hard for me to take, and like I can't even imagine what it would have been like to go there.
I do feel like it was a very good episode because of that though, because like
Yeah,
if
that history lesson and all of the acting that happened, it was made it a great episode.
right, it might not be like as controversial as say if that same type of show would have come out like 40, 50 years ago, but
Hmm.
it's still hard hitting and like people are going to watch that and they
Even
see like, "Oh wow, that's even this might be zombies and time travel, but that
hmm
still happened."
even in the early 90s, something like this, and like the late 80s, something like this shown on TV wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have fly
Oh,
at all. No way.
but yeah,
But hey,
that's
I wanted to also point out too, at least there's a cure for the zombie virus in the future in this universe. So we can hope for this universe to be ours.
right. I don't
So
have to deal
if
with
there is a
zombies.
zombie virus, at least we have a cure.
Zach was talking the other day. He said you and him were going to train to learn how to use bows. So
Well,
when the end of the world
they're
does come,
gonna. We were talking about how, like, we're not gonna have guns anytime soon or something like that. So I was like, I'd rather have a bow anyways. And he's like, yeah, let's become vigilantes. And I was like, that might be a little too far. I kind of just want to learn how to use a bow and arrow. I mean, I've been watching a little bit of Arrow and just kind of want to learn how to use a bow. I just I don't want to I don't want to be a vigilante or anything like that. Like I want to go that far. Just maybe shoot the bow in my backyard every once in a while.
I'll say Zach's like the type of guy you take him to go paintballing and he pulls out a Glock. He's like, "All right, let's do this." You're like, "Whoa, can we like calm
Yeah.
down for a
I was
second?"
thinking I was thinking Zach would be like the type of guy, you take him go paintballing. He's like, I think I might join the army. Let's go to war.
I love Zach so much though.
Yeah,
Oh god.
absolutely.
Uh,
All right, so when Vixen, okay, so Jax got captured, you know, and I was like, Jax, shut up, don't say things, and then he's like, whatever, all right, I'm gonna be an ignorant millennial in 1863 and backtalk when I'm supposed to be an undercover slave, but okay, whatever,
all right.
and
What made me mad was the eye rolling.
Oh, right, though.
I
Like,
was like,
you're about to get. Did you not pay attention in class, bro?
like
Like, for real.
you just witnessed what happened when somebody left an iron on a sheet. Like
Yeah, right? Like, she got lashed fucking hard for burning a sheet,
I think he got
and
off.
he rolled his eyes, and I
Don't
was
get me
just like,
wrong.
ah,
I do not condone slave violence, but I'm pretty sure he got off easy in those times of just getting punched in the
true.
mouth.
True. So true. Like, I don't think they could have really shown what really would have happened to that dude.
Be dead.
Would be probably or almost close to it. But like when Vixen walked in, right? And she was walking around and the one dude was like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, this dude is gonna get so fucked up. I was like, Vixen is gonna destroy this dude and he deserves it. And then when she only like punches him and kicks him a couple of times, I was like, she should have beat him down a little bit more than that. I mean, she should have like gorilla style smashed him into the ground like I don't
I
know.
did. Speaking of Vixen though, and like when Jackson did get caught, when she shows up after giving that guy the beat down, and like the lady that recognizes her,
They're from the
that
same tribe or whatever.
same village. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Simbesi amulet. So I actually
Yeah,
got to look that up.
Zimbasi. I don't know how
I
to
did.
say it.
I'll say I didn't know what that was from. I haven't seen the Vixen series on there yet. I should
Oh,
probably
you
watch
should
that.
watch it. There's probably only about 45 minutes of actual content like
I'll say,
out right now.
well, I'll watch that tomorrow night because I'm off at
and
10.
it has her whole like when she has her village or her tribe that she's in Africa, and it goes through the whole explaining the totem and how her family gets it, and then she goes to the United States and meets up with Barry and Oliver, and it's really sweet actually. You should check it out. It is definitely a worthwhile watching series.
Right. I did have a couple questions about Vixen for you though. I'm hoping you can answer them.
I will try.
So, Vixen from DC Legends, when they first run into her, it's what, 1952?
When was it? It was no, it was during World War II, so it was 1940s.
19, so like 1942, we'll say.
Okay.
So it was 1942. Well, 2016, that's like 70 years later ish, give or take. When
Yes.
they run into Vixen when they're fighting Damien Dark, how come she looks the same age? Does she not age?
Maybe
Or
that's
did they
how
plot for her to be in DC Legends from
that's
that?
what I'm thinking. That she didn't go back to the JSA and she stayed and ended up being, going straight to the future. But then that would take out the whole Vixen cartoon series because she grew up in a village in Africa and then she moved to the United States. So I don't know. I have no idea where they're going with this. I did not. I don't.
I'm
try
trying
to
to
get
figure out.
too much into spoilers because I like to be, I like to have the excitement and stuff like that. So I'm trying not to do too many spoilers or whatever. But
I mean, I don't want to, but like it just baffled me. I was like, how is she the
yeah,
same age looking?
maybe
Like
you should get
that
two
doesn't.
poster boards.
I will.
Maybe you
Um,
should get two poster boards for real.
but with Vixen, since she said she was gonna join until they found Rip's or not Rip's killer,
Rex,
Rex's killer.
Rex Tyler, our
Is,
man.
does that mean that she's like gonna be like a more permanent type of addition to the team this season?
Yeah, I think she is a new addition to the team this season for sure.
I'm hoping she stays on because she's pretty cool. I don't know
Yeah,
much about her, but
I totally like her, and I think Mick as well is starting to like her.
I was actually gonna say I hope Jackson and her get a love interest going.
Oh,
After what happened with Jackson and Hot Girl, I feel like he needs a little bit of loving.
Jackson, I think he'll find somebody else. I think Mick needs a little loving.
But
Oh,
Mick had snart. Well, no, Mick's
Mick
getting
gets
loving because he just gave
he gave the
Ray.
cold gun to Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna get some loving.
but that's like I need a partner. Meh. I need a partner in crime, and you're really smart, so here you go.
That was kind of touching though. I did.
I
It's
did
more
like that.
pocket,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, he has a new friend.
right? Like
And
he's making
it's
friends.
like,
Good for him.
yay, Mick can make friends. I also want to say that I really was happy that Jax took a moment and watched that plantation burn.
Yeah,
I would
he
have done the
turned around.
same. I would have done the same shit. I would have sat there like, I'm gonna sit here a little longer actually.
Just give me a couple
Especially
more
after
minutes.
like that dude, he was like, "Let me get some weapons." He's like, "No, I'm not gonna give my slaves no weapons." I was like, and then the zombies took him over. I was like, you should just sit there and watch those zombies eat that guy a little bit longer, actually.
They did.
And,
They went to the top of the stairs and just watched him while they
yep,
made a Molotov.
yep. And I don't even think they need to make a Molotov. It was like just the lantern at the time. Like that's just how they got light was from basically a freaking controlled Molotov cocktail. It's just.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, right. What a time to be alive. Not. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't have want to been alive at that time. They would have. People would have hated me because I would have been like, that's not. You shouldn't treat other human beings like that, actually. And I would have been definitely in the north, but probably unfortunately living in the south and with not enough money to move north. And then I probably would have been made a slave or something too. And
Oh, I
it
would
would
have
have
been
been
slave
bad.
straight out.
You would have just
That's
been a slave. You would have been
yeah.
screwed. But unless you were north, and then you could have been a Jax, and then doing the running back and forth. But then you also could have got screwed and stabbed in the stomach too. But you also could have not been screwed and have a school named after you.
I also could have been screwed and still been in Africa though too.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. I don't know.
But
Let's not talk. Whatever. Who
let's
cares?
let's continuing though. I
Continuing
actually wanted to talk about the trailer real quick for next week's episode.
of this DC
Yeah,
Legends.
of DC.
Okay.
So they're tracking Rex's killer.
The 80s
And
sucks.
the that is the only other bullet point I have. It
The
says
80s sucks. The 80s had
Rory
nothing good.
Rory loves the 60s, but he hates the 80s.
Like the 80s sucks. Mick hates the 80s. Everybody hates the 80s.
But I mean, you don't want to sit there and would you complain about sitting there and listening to a slow jam with Ray? I mean, I would.
Yeah, but 80s suck. Everything from
I,
the 80s sucked.
I was not
The
alive in the 80s,
cars. The
so
cars from the 80s sucked. I was born in the last 80s. No, I don't want this. No. 80s sucked. It's the worst.
get out of here, 80s.
The technology was terrible. It was just god awful garbage.
Just goddamn mess.
What would you give a rating? Are you done? Are you done with this?
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all she wrote.
All right.
Um,
What would you give a rating for this one?
I gave this one a proton. Just
Yeah, I did too.
it wasn't even like the storyline content they had. It was just like the historical accurateness and like the well thought out process that they made the episode in. I was like, this is a good episode, no matter
Yeah, I
how.
thought it was. I thought it was really good. I thought it was sweet how they had the historical you know, background to it and they hit on some good history lesson stuff, but they also threw some zombies in it and kind of mixed it up a bit and made it fun. I really really enjoyed that and just the little tiny, little bits of story that we got or whatever. Granted, this was totally a filler, but it was a filler episode with some awesome historical content, and I thought that was really cool the way that they threw the zombie mix on it. Definitely, and I gave it a proton for sure. I mean, it may have been like a lower proton, but I mean, it was still a proton for sure.
Right.
There
I
was
mean,
no electrons this week
well, for you,
for
the
you.
Flash
Oh
was,
yeah, I guess you
yeah.
did give that one electron, didn't you? That
Wow.
Flash episode.
2 out of 4 is not bad though for protons.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
It's a
for
good episode.
sure.
I'm hoping from the trailers that I've seen. I'm not sure with Supergirl. I mean, Black Ninja Man. That's about all we saw in that trailer. So it could go either way. But so far from the other 3 trailers, I'm expecting 3 protons next week. Like they all look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm expecting hopefully 3 or 4 protons at least.
Oh, if
We'll
I
see.
hope I get a perfect week. That'd be
A
nice.
perfect week. Do you think we'll see a perfect week yet? Do you think we'll see a perfect week this season?
This
This
specifically
season
in
on
this
all of them.
season.
Any of the in this branch. Do you think we'll see a perfect week?
Oh, there'll be a perfect week during the
Yeah.
season finales.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, actually, yeah, you're good. Right. You're right. Definitely. All right, man. Well, if that's everything you got, and that's everything I got, you want to give us some Facebook plugs and
Yeah, of course you can always catch us at the facebook.com/the particle accelerator. I believe, hopefully this is rumor. Don't quote me on this, but next week the other should be caught up and ready to go.
oh yeah, our friend Zach
So
that we've been talking about past couple episodes. Zach is
yeah,
finally gonna get caught up on the Arrowverse, and he will be joining us next week. Hopefully, maybe we'll see.
maybe. But yeah, other than that,
We got
I
Facebook. You can find us at the Particle Accelerator podcast on Facebook. We don't have a website yet. The
I think
Particle Accelerator. Oh, do we have a Twitter? Yeah.
I'll say I think that's what Zach was gonna be
All
making.
right, we'll
So
have a Twitter soon. Particle Accelerator Podcast. You can email us at the Particle Accelerator Podcast at gmail.com. And if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, hit us up on Facebook or the Particle Accelerator Podcast at gmail.com. And we'll answer everything you have for us. And until next communion.